want to talk to you about a beautiful group of plants. In fact, it's a large family called Agaves. Now, some people say the word Agave, some say Agave. It really doesn't matter how you pronounce it, because what's most important that if you have got one, or if you intend to get one, you are going to be getting a plant that is completely spectacular, can cope with frost, really, really easy to look after, just loves loads of sun, incredibly drought tolerant, and above all, so sexy. So let's start with from whence they came, because if we want to know how to look after a plant, we've always got to ask ourselves, where did it originate? Now, agaves have been around for centuries, like from the Aztecs. They used all parts of the plant in order to sustain themselves, whether it be for needles, whether it be for food, and even in alcohol. So you've got it right. They come from northern Mexico, New Mexico, and anywhere in the desert regions. That's where they come from. And think about the deserts, incredibly hot, really hot, maybe a couple of millimeters of rain once a year. And in the winter, it's cold, cold temperatures, which means that these guys are pretty much as tough as nails. But an interesting point about the agave is that it's called a monocot. Now, what does that mean? Yeah, it means it's basically a type of annual. So it will grow, and they're very slow growing. And after 7 to 15 years, depending on the variety, it will flower. It will send up a spike that will go 7, 8, 9 meters into the sky. Amazing, like a rocket. Off that spike, it produces hundreds of flowers, and after the flowers come mini plants of the same plant, of the mother plant. But after that, it then dies. But that's all part of the journey, I guess. So, agaves are great pot specimens, as you can see here. I mean, this is part of the collection. But of course, they're great for small gardens and even for large gardens. I mean, there's some that only get 20 to 30 centimeters in full width, as in height. So whether it's big or small, there certainly will be an agave for you. In the landscape, they can be used with immense impact, whether you're grouping them and using low succulents around them, allow them to speak. This geometry is what makes them so appealing. But above all of that, the reason why I love them the most is because I believe, and you might think I'm mad, but this is the true sign of a higher power. I love this imprint. This imprint, to me, is the blueprint of life, where these beautiful thorns start out in this tight, tight cone and then slowly unravel. But as they unravel, they still keep the print of the middle, of where they were held in that tight cone. It's almost like a birthmark. And that is actually why I grow them. So besides it growing 7 years and then sending up a tall spike, oh my gosh, and then dying, there are other ways that you can ensure that you do get more out of them. And agaves, like this beauty here, have the ability to send up pups. This is a little pup, so it's a type of reproduction. Basically comes from the roots and will send up an identical baby of this. How do you get it out? Quite a thorny issue, but I'll show you how. Removing an agave pup is not as difficult as it seems. The only hard part is not being poked by the thorns. I generally use a large knife with a serrated edge. I have a tweezers on hand if I know that I'm going to get my hand in there and probably get poked, so I can just grab the plant. The best way is to pop the knife in there, slide it along the edge of the pot, get as close to the mother plant as possible, and then simply start cutting down. You will soon feel that you've reached the root, which is basically the stem where it emerges originally from the mother plant. All you've got to then do is cut your way through it. It's quite soft. Use the tweezers if you need to, or simply just put your hand in there and pop the baby out. Of course, as many roots as possible on it is best bet, but as I said, they really are forgiving. If you pull a pup out with one teeny weeny little root in it, I guarantee you it will still be okay. The potting mix is really simple. I use a koi gravel, which you can pick up at your local pool shop, mixed with a seedling mix. It's a 50% of each. It's very rough, it's very coarse, very well drained, and I add an organic fertilizer into that, which works as a good slow release food. Simply pot up the baby. I don't water it immediately. I'll wait a day or two and then give it a good watering, just so that it can settle in. And that's it. The rest is just to wait till your next baby grows up.